The general rule, sabi mo nga palagi, inuulit-ulit palagi ni General Albayalde, it is presumed that they did their duty in accordance with law, right? Presumption of regularity.
Yes, sir.
Pero kung may presumption of regularity, kung may charge, dapat mabilis. I'm talking now on tawag nating in aid of legislation. Dahil kung tatagal yan, mawawala ang simpatya ng tao sa atin. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, General Lacadin, bakit hindi mo sinumbong si General Albayalde? Oh, sinabi niya sa akin, nabigyan, hindi ako nabigyan ng, hindi naman ganyan kalaki, hindi ko ganyan kalaki nakuha ko dyan. Maliit lang yung nakuha ko dyan, di ba? Sabi mo? Konti lang sa akin dyan.
At that time, Your Honor, the admin case was already filed during the time of General Petrasanta, and the criminal aspect of the case, as far as the suspects, according to the respondents concerned, is still active with the Pampanga courts. Yes, sir. Nasa court pa, sir. Prosecutor.
Kahit na, I would have executed an affidavit.
There was no pending case as far as...
No, you don't need a pending case. Lumapit ka sa akin, sabi mo, ganyan yan, I will execute an affidavit to protect myself.
Yes,
Agad,
but,
sa notary public.
It will be his words against mine, Your Honor.
No, kaya nga
In the absence
affidavit
of tangible
Sworn
evidence.
statement right away.
I were not able to do that, Your Honor.
You will not do that.
I were not able to do that, Your Honor.
Okay. He was able to do that.
Yeah.
Judgment call sa kanya.
Sir,
Sige.
may I say something, sir?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a peripheral issue, but it's related to the topic. When I was the regional director of Region 3, I conducted a backtrack review.
Can you
of
come
all-
closer to the microphone,
Yeah.
please?
I conducted the backtrack review of all cases, drug cases involving policemen in Region 3. And I found out that dismissed police personnel because of drug cases were reinstated back in the police service through the RAB of the NAPOLCOM. Hindi sir, totoo ito. Ano? If you will conduct an inventory of police personnel who are dismissed for drug offenses, makikita po ninyo na napakaraming na-reinstate when they went to the RAB of the National Police Commission. Ang ibig ko pong sabihin, kaya ho palaging may problema tayo sa mga police na involved sa drug because they can always return through other channels in the PNP service. So, in effect, the law does not have a deterrent effect as far as PNP person is concerned involved sa illegal drugs. Yun ho ang aking gustong ipaalam.
That, nababalik yung dismissed policeman.
Nakakabalik, sir.
And
Through Napolcom.
yes, and the NAPOLCOM would usually base their decision on the case file, on the evidence that is presented.
Yun
Yes.
po, sir.
Yes.
Nangyayari.
And as Attorney Santos Lopez said, they cannot consider evidence which is not in the folder. Hindi po ba?
Yeah.
Now, so what does that mean? If they are involved and yet they are reinstated on the basis of the case file, only means one thing. Somebody is manipulating the record so that no evidence is presented, so that when it gets to the NAPOLCOM would have no choice but to dismiss. That is why many of them are reinstated. I think the web of conspiracy is something that we must expose in order to stop this practice. The reports here of this cited earlier by Senator Gordon would indicate that General Albayalde merely followed the narrative of this guy Baloyo. He just followed the narrative. Exactly what Baloyo said was found in the report. And therefore, on this basis, and this is the only, there is no independent investigation that, or check on the evidence being presented, so that the others would have no choice but to dismiss it because there is no evidence. As Colonel Santos Lopez said, they cannot consider anything outside that is not indicated in the report. That, to me, is what is happening. There is a conspiracy to cover up so that the case folder is crafted in a manner that you have no choice. In fact, Senator Lacson has told me several times, tinignan daw niya yung case folder, talagang walang laman. Eh kung kayo po ang nag-iimbestiga, nag-reviewing the case, walang laman yung folder, wala kang magawa. And, wala kang magawa because that is what is presented. But, you know, we all know that the evidence can be manipulated. And I think this is what happened here. The case was being manipulated, cases were being manipulated, the evidence was being suppressed, and therefore, that is the result, General Lacadin. That is why they are reinstated. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. In line with that question, and in line with my previous question, I said this is actions and becoming an officer, and I ask you whether these are serious cases, di ba? You said yes. The law, fortunately, does not exist in a vacuum for this case. Kung mahaba yung kaso, papadaanin niya, to be sure, dadaan sa hearing, which is what you guys did. But in reality, kung talagang ang kaso is so serious and evidence of guilt is strong, and I ask you that, and when the respondent is guilty of a serious offense involving conduct and becoming of a police officer, and you must admit that policemen are held to a higher degree of conduct. Would you agree with that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Because you're given, under the social contract theory, the right to defend us, and for that you are given a gun. So kailangan, pagka nagkamali kayo, under a different degree, ako, yun ang philosophy ko. I'm not imposing it, but to me, that's how I think. Hindi niya kayo ng baril, pagka gagamitin niya pang-abuso, dapat tagal kayo kagad, as far as I'm concerned. So, yung law, sinasabi dito sa Section 42, Republic Act 6975, when the charge is serious and the evidence of guilt is strong, summary dismissal by the PNP chief and regional directors. 2, when the respondent is a recidivist or has been repeatedly charged and there are reasonable grounds to believe that he is guilty of the charges. 3, where the respondent is guilty of a serious offense involving conduct and becoming a police officer. Andyan yan. So kung meron yan, you could have summarily dismissed all these people and let them appeal if they want. Is that correct, sir? Umaba pa tayo ng umaba.
Yun po ang ginawa nila. Nag-file sila ng MR on time, sir. Yun,
Yeah, but after, pinili nyo na yung longer route di ba? Ang longer route, ito talaga due process. We're charging you. Ang daming hearings Siguro mga 8 hearings yung binasa ko dito kanina. At nagdesisyon. At maganda. Sabi, dismissal. Ang naging problema, she loves me not. Dismissal, demotion. Demotion, dismissal. Kaya nagkaroon ng mga duda. Yung cover-up na amoy ni Senator Dillon, pati ako. So, sinasabi ko, you could have taken that route, but you did not. Now, ganun rin si General Bayalde, nandiyan na kayo, bakit hindi nyo pa tinake yung route na yan? Hindi nyo mapaliwanag yan? Out. Because I have questions here, General. I have to ask. I keep getting the same questions from somebody, and I will say this, very close to the president, the former president. I will not mention his name. Kayo na ang bahala kung pipilitin niyo ako, sabihin ko yan. Sinasabi niya, may tinapong ka raw na 21 police sa Mindanao at dinisarma mo pa sila just because of Facebook comments against you. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So you're familiar with that? Tinapon niyo, dinisarma
Yes,
niyo?
Mr. Chairman. Because that is conduct and becoming of a police officer.
Dapat tinanggal mo.
They're under investigation, Mr. Chairman. Under po ng...
No, I just cited you chapter and verse. Yung pwede mo summarily dismiss and let them...
Yes, they are
appeal.
facing summary hearing procedure, Mr. Chairman, under the
Ba't di
Directorate
mo pa
for
tinanggal? Tatapon
Investigation
mo sa
and
Mindanao,
Management.
gagastos pa tayo sa papasahe, sasakay mo pa sa C-130 yan.
And they according to our director for the IDM, they have been penalized. They were suspended.
For critical remarks against you sa Facebook?
They were well, sa amin po kasi, Mr. Chairman, of course, kung meron ka pong grievance
Dapat daanin mo sa grievance
yes,
procedure.
meron po kaming, Mr. Chairman.
No? Bakit di mo sinabi sa kanila? Wag grievance procedure
Meron po kaming grievance procedure, Mr. Chairman. Not doon
Malinis sila.
Ganun po. And
I just had to ask you that because balik yung tanong
They were made responsible for their acts,
All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay,
under our
we said that.
disciplinary mechanism.
Alright, so again, hindi nyo ginagamit. I rarely hear of summarily dismissal. What good is the law if you're not going to use it? Comments, please?
Sir, may just ask, no? May just continue on.
No,
Actually,
no, I'm asking a question.
Yes.
You're the general. You have several generals here. Bonfire is a general. General Pero is here is a general. General Purisima, General Lacadin, General Petrosanta. Pare generals kayo. Rapolcom, tatanungin ko rin. What good is the law if you're not going to apply it para mabilis? Quick action is the best antidote for resentment by the public.
Yes, Mr. I think yung pong sinasabi nyo, Mr. Chairman, ay yan na po talagang ina-adapt ng PNP, the summary hearing procedure. No, meron po kaming pre-charge evaluation na sinasabi. At meron po kaming after the pre-charge evaluation, meron pong nakita na evidence that would warrant for a summary hearing procedure. No, I think Attorney Lopez can explain that further. Doon na po papasok yung summary hearing procedure at doon na po merong ma-assign as a summary hearing officer.
Summary hearing na yung ginawa sa kanila eh.
Yes, opo.
Ganun pa ng 6 na taon bago gumalaw.
That I cannot explain kung gaano po katagal yung pero yun po ang procedure namin talaga, Mr. Chairman. Meron po kaming pre-charge evaluation. After the pre-charge evaluation, ay yun po ang And for the record, Mr. Chairman, doon po panahon na magmula si Senator Bato. No, we have charged more than 8,000 of our people already and dismiss around more than 4,000 of our people for various reasons. Kasi para nga po mapabilis itong mga sinasabi nyo ito, Mr. Chairman. We'll continuously improving our disciplinary mechanisms, Mr. Chairman.
Let me ask a question. Colonel Bangamaspad, Colonel Lopez, General Corpus, can you tell this committee what was the ground for the motion for reconsideration?
The respondents, particularly there are 5 respondents who filed jointly together on their motion for
Lahat sila.
reconsideration. 5 only, Your Honor.
Joint,
Five
joint.
only. Browsing from the records, Your Honor, states that
What is the ground for motion for
the
reconsideration?
grounds for motion for reconsideration, Your Honor, is for precision, Your Honor, I will read. The grounds, Your Honor, relied by the respondent movement here, Your Honor, are number 1, newly discovered evidence which, if presented, would materially affect the decision rendered.
Was there one?
Materially, newly discovered evidence.
Meron ba?
None, sir.
None. Oh.
Okay. The second, and this is the last, is error of law or irregularity have been committed prejudicial to the substantial rights and interest of the movements.
Meron ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, again, I will stress that I handled the motion for reconsideration even during the time of PDEA chief, particularly in 2017, Your Honor, January. And at that precise moment, Your Honor, when he requested me for a review, it is my stand, Your Honor, which is only a legal opinion, a guidance to the disciplinary authority, was to demote the same, considering that the facts, Your Honor, and the charges, Your Honor, have these aggravating and mitigating circumstances, Your Honor.
Aggravating
Your Honor,
and mitigating circumstances is not a charge. It is a way to compute the penalty.
Yes, Your Honor, I agree, Your Honor. The charges were grave misconduct, 2 dishonesties, and the last is simple neglect of duty for the command responsibility.
Neglect of duty,
Neglect of duty and 2 dishonesty.
dishonesty,
And
ano pa
also,
isa?
and grave misconduct, Your Honor.
Grave misconduct.
Yes, Your Honor. And pursuant again, I will restate my
Ano yung motion for reconsideration? Wala dun eh.
Your Honor, this is regarding the penalties, the error of the
In
imposition.
appreciation of
in
the aggravating and mitigating
Yes,
circumstance.
Your Honor, pursuant to NAPOLCOM Circular 2007 and as amended by 2016, there are provisions, particularly I cite the provision, Your Honor.
And what is the biggest error in my book? Sabi na rin ni Senator Dillon, tinatasahan nyo yung pinapile para hindi masama yung kalakihan. Tinatasahan nung nag-file. Sino ba nag-file ng kaso?
Ang PNP po, Your Honor.
Sino ang PNP? Ang laki niyan.
I mean,
All
the-
190,000?
the-
190,000 ba, Oscar?
The private
Mr. Chairman,
complainant, Your Honor, is
190,000.
RIDMD. It's the RIDMD stands for Regional Investigation
Sino doon?
Detective. The person of The charge sheet was signed by a certain Cortez Yabot, Your Honor, a police inspector during that time. Enrique Cortez Yabot.
Sino?
Enrique Cortez Yabot, Your Honor.
Enrique Cortez.
Yabot.
Can you take note of the name, please?
And he was the one who...
All right. I just have one question to Major Baloyo. Or maybe to any of the officers, particularly General Albayalde. Sino ang naglipat kay Major Baloyo from Zamboanga del Sur to Tagaytay City?
Ang order po niyan, Mr. Chairman, is the region. And then yung region will be up to the region kung saan po nila linalagay usually. Yung mga
So tatanggapin kailangan na Region 4A yan?
Yes, yes.
Sino ang Region 4A?
Si General Carranza po, ang RD doon. Kasi when, as I've said, after 4 months, nung August po, nagkaroon
Because ang ibang tao nagagalit, kung talagang may kalokohan yan at nakita na, ba't ba napunta sa Tagaytay?
Kaya nga po, Mr. Chairman, then I think records will show na si Baloyo is not a chief of police. He's only
Deputy
a deputy chief of police.
Still enough
Siya
room
po
for
yung-
damage. You know, ang palaging ginagamit ko, huwag yung papasukin yung ahas sa loob ng poultry.
Yes. Akin na yun. That is the very reason, again, Mr. Chairman, we go back doon po dun sa strict monitoring namin dito. I can show
And I
you-
hope every policeman listens. You are not snakes. You are not sawa. Pero pag nagluko kayo, magiging sawa kayo, ang tingin nyo, you're running rampant before the citizenry and you're not an honest policeman.
May I ask for clarification, Mr. Chairman?
Huwag nyo pabayaan yung police na kung may kaso, huwag nyo muna ibalik hanggang na-release sila. Dinimote mo, tapos babalik nyo doon sa Deputy Chief of Police. May problema yan.
Mr.
No,
Chairman,
clear nyo muna. Yes, sir.
let me ask Major Baloyo, what is your present designation in Tagaytay?
Deputy Chief.
You're now the OIC, di ba?
Relief, bali, ano po ako ngayon? Pihaw po, nakatanggap po ako ng...
No. Before na floating ka ulit, anong designation mo sa Tagaytay? Deputy or OIC?
OIC po.
OIC, di ba?
Opo.
What happened to the Chief of Police?
Na-relieve po.
Bakit na-relieve? Maybe you should
Hindi ko
ask
po
the
alam.
PRM.
Hindi ko po alam, Your Honor. Bali, ako lang po kasi yung
Oh,
deputy nun,
kasi,
kaya
alam mo,
kaya
ito,
nag-OIC po ako.
I've been receiving reports na by design, you were assigned as deputy, but eventually, you would take over as OIC because you're not qualified to be chief of police because of your rank. So, ang gusto ko malaman, anong reason for the relief of the chief of police? May offense ba? As far as you know, may kasalanan ba yung chief of police mo kaya natanggal doon?
Wala naman po. Hindi ko po
And
alam,
how
sir.
long have you been OIC of Tagaytay?
Bali, 4 months po.
4 months na.
Opo.
Hindi naglalagay ng permanent na chief of police sa Tagaytay?
Wala pa naman po.
Yun nga eh.
Why was Baloyo yanked out of Zamboanga and given a good post in Tagaytay?
Sir,
Were you the one who assigned him, General Baloyo? Were you the one who ordered his transfer?
because of the
No,
request
can you
from
answer
the...
him first? Were you the one who ordered the transfer of
After
Baloyo?
I got the request from the court, Mr. Chairman, citing section 91 of 9165, no? Dahil po yung mga pag-transfer ng ano, in fact, let me again make this thing clear. Yung request ng court is for them to go back to Police Regional Office 3. So ang sinabi ko po ay hindi pwede. In fact, gawin na lang sila na ikalat sa ibang mga regions so that they can attend to their court duties.
Again, who made the request that they may move back to Region 3?
Meron pong court from...
Excuse me,
Ah,
hindi naman umabot sa korte itong kaso. Bakit
No,
mag-order yung court?
Hindi po, hindi yung tungkol dyan, sir. Hindi yung tungkol dyan. Yung mga cases that they are a witness of. Yung mga, ano sir, kasi nagkakaproblema tayo before na yung lilipat natin ng Mindanao, ang reason nila, they're so far, they cannot attend the
Kaya
court
nadidismiss yung
duties,
mga
kaya
kaso.
po nadidismiss yung kaso, Mr. Chairman. Isa pong malaking problema kung minsan, dahil wala pong pondo, yung PNP, para mag-travel yung police to attend to their court duties, especially so those we throw to far areas. Kaya po, again, we go back doon sa validation na ginagawa ng DI so that nga po, it's not only the group of Baloyo. I may stress this po, no? It's not only on the group of Baloyo, but it's for the everybody na pinagtatapon po ng around, kung di ako magkamali, I don't know if DI is here, around 800 of them. So now, yung pong nakatapon dun sa mga, no, around mga 300 because of the continuous validation, Mr. Chairman. No, at yun po ang sinasabi, gaya po ng sinabi nyo kanina, Mr. Chairman, na palagi po kang pinupuna. No, bakit ba tapunan kami ng tinatawag na
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a copy of the court order, court decision? Ano ba yan? By virtue of a case in the Supreme Court, nag-order na sila na huwag nyo nang gagawin yan?
No, sir. It's a request. Pero tayo.
Saka, bakit naman OIC? 4 na buwan na. Sabi nga ni sir, 4 na buwan na. Major ang rank niya, performing chief of police.
Yes, sir. It's
On a major city.
Ang ano po kasi dito, Mr. Chairman, yung pong mga RDs ang bahala doon sa kanila. But they are informed after the transfer that these people are under strict monitoring. Akin na yung picture.
But in reality, the RDs have a very big say, right? Sensitive yan eh.
I don't know if Baloyo can speak, pero hindi ko po alam kung nung pwesto niya sa Mindanao eh. Kung tanong nyo, para pang mas maganda pa nga po yung pwesto niya sa Mindanao eh. Kung tignan mo, Deputy Provincial Director yata siya for operations. That's even high, Mr. Chairman. Kung if we're, of course, being Luzon and Mindanao is equal. Pero pagdating po sa pwesto, mas mataas po yung DPDO, yung Deputy Provincial Director kaysa sa Deputy Chief of Police.
Pag highly urbanized city, ano dapat ang rango ng chief of police?
Highly urbanized city yan.
Full colonel, ano?
The DP, sir, can answer that.
For Tagaytay, sir, Lieutenant Colonel.
Yeah, particularly Tagaytay, Lieutenant Colonel.
Yes, sir.
Kaya hindi siya pwede maging chief of police. That's the only reason. Kaya OIC lang. Ang tanong ko, anong offense ng chief of police? Bakit napalitan?
We'll ask the RD.
Regional, sir, yung nakakaalam yan. Hindi nakikialam ang
Pero
NHQ, sir.
DPRM ka eh. Dapat alam mo rin.
Ang NHQ, sir, hindi nakikialam sa regional assignments.
In reality, hindi malilipat siya kung di mo alam, right? You should know where your people are.
Yes, sir. That's why I never transferred them. Remember, sir?
But
I never
ultimately, you
I
signed
never
the transfer.
transferred them. I never transferred them only after 4
And I
months
didn't say you
po,
transfer them, but ultimately, you approve it.
Yes, sir. I just based my sir. Here's the request of the sir.
Just as you base your report on that spot
Request.
report. with
No,
your
no,
men.
no, sir. Not on the based on the voice
this
on the
guy
request. I have
is
no intention of actually transferring anybody, sir, except of course with the any valid reason.
Of course,
No,
not.
and
You
of
just
course coming
transferred
from the
21
DI, sir.
policemen to Mindanao by your own admission. Just now, you just said you transferred 21 policemen in Mindanao.
Yes,
So
sir.
you cannot transfer.
Ang hindi ko makuha, kasi ang order ng court o request ng court, ibalik sila sa Region 3 dahil doon yung mga kasong na-file nila. Bakit sila napunta sa Tagaytay? Pwede naman silang i-assign sa regional headquarters ng Region 3 and then put them there on floating status. Kasi nga, meron silang, I suppose, at the time, dismiss na yung kaso nila. Na-serve out na yung demotion, saka yung 3-month suspension. Is that it? So parang wala na. Wala nang kaso. Kaya pwede na silang ibalik do sa... Pero ba't why Tagaytay? Malayo rin yung Tagaytay sa Pampanga kung court
San
or
Fernando.
kung San Fernando kung mga court hearings yung dahilan.
Well, I really do not know on that specific answer, sir, dahil region lang po yung sinabi. At the same time, kaya lang po pinabayan so that they can travel by land. Not by air or by vessel po na ano sir, para ma-ease lang nung konti yung mga ano sir, yung mga
Kasi kung hindi rin pala pwedeng, kung pwede rin palang hindi sundin yung court order, kasi ang order sabi mo, ibalik sa Region 3. Di ba yun ang nakalagay? Order ba o request ng court?
request sir, request.
O request ng court. Kung ganun din pala, hindi mo rin i-comply, di ba't sa Tagaytay napalagay? Pwede rin sa ibang lugar na hindi, yung less sensitive assignment.
As I've said, Mr. Chairman, hindi po ako ang nag-utos na ilagay siya doon sa...
Yeah, pero from Zamboanga to Region 4A, hindi 4A Regional Director lang ang nakakaalam. Ang order manggagaling sa Krame to transfer an officer from one region to another.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Tama po. Yes, sir.
Inspector De Guzman, where are you assigned now?
Sir, sa Camp Crame, sir, Piaw, sir.
Camp Crame?
Piaw po, sir.
Before, saan ka na-assign?
Sa Rizal PPO, sir.
Sa
Rizal PPO, sir.
Rizal. Sabi na Senator Lacson, choice assignments yung binibigay sa inyo. Wow. Yun ang problema
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. Kailan kayo na-transfer sa holding group sa Krame? Anong date ng order? DPRM? Anong date ng effectivity from, say, Zamboanga or Rizal or Tagaytay to holding group? Anong date? During the hearing na, no?
Yung assignment nila sa PIAO, sir, during
the hearing,
the second day ng hearing, sir.
Yes. Kung hindi nagka-hearing, nasa Tagaytay pa rin ito, nasa Rizal pa rin yung isa. Anong position mo sa Rizal? PPO. De Guzman.
Sir, PCP Commander, sir.
Precinct Commander.
Yes, sir.
Which town? Which town? What city?
Antipolo, sir.
Antipolo.
Yes, sir.
Choice position yan.
Just for my education, the court order referred to is not an order in a specific case, but a general directive of the court to make available those officers who are witnesses in pending cases. Is that a correct impression, sir?
It's a request, Mr. Chairman. I can submit it to you. It's a request that the above-named personnel be transferred or assigned again to Police Regional Office 3.
Who made that request, sir?
It's the provincial prosecutor po. Approved and noted by provincial prosecutor of Pampanga, Mr. Chairman.
It was the provincial prosecutor who requested that he be brought back to Region 3.
The letter was made by Associate Provincial Prosecutor, Office of the Provincial Prosecutor, City of San Fernando, and it was duly approved by Lamberto Gonzalez Jr., the Provincial Prosecutor of the Office of the Provincial Prosecutor, City of San Fernando.
What is the date of the request?
August 9, sir.
Of this year?
2018.
2018. Baloyo, kilala mo ba yung Provincial Prosecutor? Personally?
Sir, personally, hindi po.
Pero kilala mo?
Narinig ko lang po.
Undersecretary Marco, is this a usual practice, or is this, in other words, that a provincial prosecutor would specifically request a particular police officer to be returned back to his original assignment because of a pending case? Is that usually done?
Your Honor, that has to be with instructions from the regional prosecutor or the provincial prosecutor, Your Honor.
Can you repeat, please?
That has to be with the order or blessing of the provincial or regional prosecutor.
So do you do this as a matter of course, or is this special for Mr. Baloyo? Are there instances, is this a matter of practice? You do this every time, or there must be a specific, or is this a special treatment for certain people? Because I know for a fact that, you know, we usually, this is very unusual. Or is this usual, if I may ask?
Not necessarily, Your Honor. It's not unusual, Your Honor, in the sense that it's a case-to-case basis, Your Honor.
So in the particular case of Mr. Baloyo, what case was this that is so critical that he has to be brought back to Region 3? Ano po ito?
Is the question directed to me, Your Honor?
What is the record? Because again, you know, from all the evidence that we have gathered so far, that we have heard here, you piece the evidence together. Again, it confirms that there is a conspiracy to cover up. Pati po yung inyong, pati yung paglipat sa kay Baloyo and the rest of the people having been found guilty of misconduct and demoted now gets juicy assignments. What is the case that would merit recall of Mr. Baloyo? Ikaw ba'y nagtestigo na mula na balik rito, Mr. Major Baloyo? Nag-testify ka na ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Saan?
Yung kay Dingwen Kun po.
Ha?
Yung kay Dingwen Kun po, Your Honor.
Hindi kita maintindihan ba? Can you speak louder, please?
Yung kay Dingwen Kun po, Your Honor. Aside from yung case ni Dingwen Kun, marami po kaming na-file na mga drug cases, Your Honor. Halos lahat po yan,
Excuse
mga
me,
yan,
Senator Dela.
na-identify.
Kung marami ka na-file na drug cases dito kay Associate Provincial Prosecutor or SUA, kilala mo ito. Kilala mo dapat. Marami ka pinapile na kaso eh. Di ba, pagka pulis ka at nagpapile ka lagi ng kaso, normally, kinakaibigan mo yung prosecutor eh, hindi ba? Or at least, acquaintance. So, kilala mo si Ursua.
Sa mga ano, Your Honor, yung mga RTC.
Hindi, kilala mo si Ursua.
No, Your Honor.
Eh, nagpapile ka ng kaso sa kanya eh. Sabi mo nga, ito, 1, 2, 3, 4 cases na siya yung prosecutor. Kilala mo dapat. Paano kayo nagko-coordinate kung magwi-witness ka kung di mo kilala? Huwag mo kong milulukoyin kasi galing ko sa pulis. Ang una nating kinakaibigan, piskal, para maging successful yung prosecution. Especially kung ikaw mismo nag-file ng kaso. Para mag-coordinate kayo sa prosecution. Tama ba yun, General Purisima?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tama rin yun, General Petrasanta, no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tama rin yun, General Lacadin.
Yes, sir.
Si Baloyo na naman sa lungat, mag-isa.
Yes.
By the way, this is not really a letter from the court. This is from the Provincial Fiscal's Office, right? So what you were saying about the court is not accurate, at the very least.
Sa Provincial Prosecutor's Officer, Office of the Provincial Prosecutor.
That is not the court.
Prosecutor.
Oo.
That is not the court.
It's a request, sir, from the Provincial Prosecutor.
So,
Mr.
bali yung
Chairman.
sinabi mo kanina,
Yes,
court.
Mr. Chairman.
I
I have the letter,
yes.
sir, Mr. Chairman.
General Albayalde, did the prosecutor specifically request for Mr. Baloyo to be moved? Only, yes. Did the prosecutor ask Mr. Baloyo to be moved back to Region 3?
I also asked this, Mr. Chairman, kung wala yung pangalan niya, but also I received a letter also on August 11 from the lawyer also invoking the same Mr.
Wait.
Mr. Chairman.
Just so the records will reflect accurately the situation, in a letter dated August 9, 2018, Associate Provincial Prosecutor or SUA said, quote, relative to the letter signed by SPO1 Dante Dizon, SPO1 Donald Roque, PO2 Guerrero, PO2 Dizon, PO2 Laksamana, and PO2 Maniago, there was a request that these officers be moved back. I don't see the name here of Mr. Baloyo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, nasabi po nila kasi kasama-sama na sila dito. That's why after that, I received a letter from the lawyer, from their lawyer, also
The
seeking
lawyer
the
of-
same lawyer of Baloyo, seeking the same and invoking the same section of RA 9165.
In other words, you're just using this as a
And on that
precedent.
basis, you
Parang
move him.
ano po yun, Mr.
Ah,
Chairman?
on that basis, you move Baloyo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, dahil grupo po sila doon sa cases na sinasabi nila na under trial yung kanilang
Sir, Mr.
mga
Chairman?
cases, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Again, ito bang nakalista lahat dito? Ito itong 13 na nandito? O meron naligaw na hindi kasama sa 13? Like
Hindi ko po alam.
Dizon, Roque, Guerrero, another Dizon, Laksamana, Maniago. Andito ba kayo?
Yan.
Andito kayo lahat? O sama-sama kayo nagbalikan? Another question. Have you received request of similar nature from other prosecutors or from the provincial prosecutor of
Other
Pampanga?
countries.
Hindi ko po alam yan, Mr. But as far as I am
O
concerned, as
nag-iisa
chief,
lang tong request na ito, talagang para sa kanila lang.
as far as I'm chief, sir, I cannot remember anything about
Walang
that.
ibang
But
request na ganito.
kasi po ang sinasabi nila, it's already inherent under 9165.
No,
na
I mean, meron
hindi
bang
ka
similar
makapag-transfer
nature na
ng ano?
request na nanggaling halimbawa sa Tagaytay, nanggaling sa Antipolo, nanggaling sa
Hindi ko po-
Pampanga, nanggaling
don't-
sa Baguio?
I don't see any...
Kasi I suppose, hindi lang sila naman yung nagwi-witness sa mga
yes,
drug cases, di ba?
yes, Mr. Chairman.
So kung nag-iisang request ito, talagang para sa kanila lang ito.
Well, pwede po siguro. Wala akong natanggap na ibang alam kong Mr. Chairman, as far as my term, during my term as Chief NP.
General Albayalde, you know, these officers under this letter, August 9, 2018, were requested to be moved back to Region 3 because of the cases pending where they will be a witness. Tama po ba yan? Now, is that correct? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, in the case of Mr. Baloyo, he was not mentioned here.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And so why was he included? You're saying there's a letter?
Yes, a letter from the lawyer. Signed
Lawyer
also
of whom?
Mr. Baloyo.
Why should he have a lawyer when he's only a witness?
Well, ito po yung sinasabi niya na
No.
that they are also that they are assigned in Mindanao since 2016.
I'm sorry?
That they were assigned in Mindanao since 2016. At ng request po niya, I hereby reiterate the mandatory provisions of Section 91, Republic Act 9165,
Yes.
which prohibits the transfer of
That's-
members of law enforcement agencies who are witnesses in drug cases to
That-
other government offices in
Okay.
in other territorial jurisdiction while the case is pending.
Okay. Without accepting the validity of this request, it is obvious that the request should be done by the prosecutor because Mr. Baloyo is a witness for the prosecution. And the prosecution's case is controlled by the fiscal. That's why there is, maybe this is proper, but the point is, Mr. Baloyo was not among those included in the request, but suddenly, because of a letter of his private lawyer, he was benefited and he was moved to Region 3 and then to Tagaytay. Why the special treatment for Mr. Baloyo?
It's not a special treatment, Mr. Chairman. No, ano po kasi dito, it is inherent in under RA 9165.
Yes,
No, dahil po nandun,
but
not
Mr.
special
Mr.
treatment,
General,
Chairman.
that prohibition is to facilitate and to make sure that the prosecution would have the witnesses available.
Yes.
And the one who would prosecute is the fiscal, not any lawyer. The lawyer has no business intervening in a criminal case as a member of the prosecutor unless with the consent of the fiscal. In this particular case, the fiscal only asked for the return of 5 or so witnesses, excluding Mr. Baloyo. So why suddenly is he benefited? That citation is not for the benefit of Baloyo. That citation of the law is not for the benefit of Baloyo, but for the benefit of the prosecution. But the prosecutor himself did not ask for his presence here. That means, in the view of the prosecutor, he is not a witness needed to prosecute the case. So why is he favored with that transfer?
Again, Mr. Chairman, he was not favored. Kasi po yung transfer na ginagawa namin, it goes to everybody. No, it goes to everybody. Doon po lahat na inassign namin sa Mindanao, Mr. Chairman. Marami po kami na-assign sa Mindanao, around 800 of them.
But earlier, Mr. General Bayano, you said, there was a request. You cited the request. And we are now using that request. The request is not by the court, as you erroneously pointed out, but mentioned, but it is by the prosecution. And as I would repeat, the fiscal only enumerated 5 or so policemen transferred. That means the fiscal found their presence necessary, and therefore they had to be moved back. Our point is, we were asking why Mr. Baloyo was included in the transfer when he, in fact, it appears that his testimony is not necessary because he was not included by the request of the fiscal.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there's also a request coming from his lawyer, that's one.
His lawyer, excuse me,
Yes.
his lawyer, Mr. Baloyo, is not a defendant,
Yes.
is not the accused. He is a witness. Why should the private lawyer be so interested in moving back Mr. Baloyo when in fact he is not the accused? I do not know, he is a lawyer of, yes, Mr. Baloyo, but Mr. Baloyo is not the accused. He is only a witness. But the second point, why do we entertain those requests from private individuals, the lawyer in this case, who would have motives other than public welfare?
Well,
again, just let me finish. I allow you to talk. Again, this strengthens our suspicion that this group is favored. This group is given preferential treatment. All the circumstantial evidence point to that. Thank you, Mr. General.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, may we also have a copy of the lawyer's letter?
Yes, sir.
May mga
Can
specific
you produce?
court cases ba naka-mention dyan?
May letter ba kayo ng lawyer, please?
Yes, sir.
Can you get a copy and reproduce it?
Yes, sir.
I have one question, General Velde. Sa dami-dami ng posisyon, sabi mo, ilalapit siya. Bakit doon sa Tagaytay, may kalayuan? Bakit yung isa sa Rizal? Pwede naman doon sa Bataan, pwede naman doon sa Pampanga, sa Nevesia. Bakit doon pa? At saka bakit nakikialam itong mga piskal? You better tell the Secretary of Justice that your prosecuting officer should not be doing this without his permission. Otherwise, they're running circles around the law. Don't you think so, Undersecretary?
Your Honor, the request was done because, of course, the prosecutors want to win the cases, and they cannot win the cases without the witnesses attending the court proceedings. So sometimes they are bound to make these kinds of requests, Your Honor.
I did not understand you.
Your Honor, in this particular case, the provincial prosecutor, I think it was Assistant City Prosecutor Ursua, requested for these people not to be transferred, so that they could be available to attend.
I understand the reason.
Your Honor.
But here is a provincial prosecutor na pwedeng kausapin dahil Pampanga, Mr. Baloyo is from Pampanga, maaaring may mga kapit siya, pinababalik siya ngayon para malapit-lapit siya dito. And I understand that. Mabuti pa, humanitarian reason na lang, dito na lang kami kung pwede. Pero ang lumalabas, parang sabi nga ni may preferential treatment. 6 lang itong pinahingi dito eh. Yan ang problema. Perception is sometimes harsher than reality. I'm sure you know that by now.
Yes, sir. Kasi, Mr. Chairman, kung sasabihin nilang sila lang kasi, hindi po lang sila ang tinransfer namin, Mr. Chairman. Hindi lang po sila. No, marami po silang tinransfer namin. As I've been saying, na even without the request, talaga pong kasi sila, yung kaso nila was already dismissed and they were already penalized. And we don't have any evidence that would warrant for their rotation. Unang-una, sila po ay natagal na sila sa Mindanao. That's more than 2 years if I'm not mistaken. Kaya po, it's all part na i-rotate din na rin namin yung mga tao. Let me make one thing clear, Mr. Chairman, na hindi lang po sila ang tinransfer namin. Marami po namin talaga naman na tinransfer even without the court order. So if we give these people for a rotation, why not apply to everybody? So
That's why
yun lang po,
Tagaytay.
sir, ang, Mr.
Tagaytay
Chairman.
is practically a very, very
I have no hand in
wonderful assignment.
Mr. Chairman, I have no
It's a
hand
resort.
in applying in the placement of these people, Mr. Chairman. Basta ang sa amin po is anybody who will be transferred out of Mindanao after serving for more than 2 years, they are all under strict monitoring, Mr. Chairman.
Is Dante Dizon here